Hi, I'm Suzy Q Public, just an ordinary American trying to make sense of what's going on by asking better questions. My hope is that these questions will get you thinking too. Today, I want to look at two big news items that really got me thinking. The first one hits on fairness and what it means to be an American, or at least a guest in our country. Just days ago, ICE arrested the niece and grandniece of Qasem Soleimani in Los Angeles. Soleimani was a major general in Iran's Revolutionary Guard, the murderous IRG who we're fighting now, who was killed by a U.S. drone strike in 2020. These women had green cards, they claimed to need sanctuary, and were living large in California. Yet they were publicly supporting the Iranian regime, the same regime that calls America the Great Satan. Their wealth and comfortable lifestyle come from the largesse of Iran's oil money and regime connections, while ordinary Iranian citizens struggle with high living costs and see little benefit from that same wealth. And here's the part that really stands out. While these ladies are striving to be internet influencers, dressed in Western clothing, scantily, with tons of makeup, jewelry, and purchased body parts, if you get my meaning, the kind of freedom they could never have back in Iran, where women are required to wear the hijab and modest clothing under strict enforcement. They have the audacity, while being in this country as our guest, supposedly seeking sanctuary, they are using their internet influence to publicly support the murderous IRG while proclaiming death to America. At the same time, back in Iran, the IRG is doing this. An 18-year-old kid named Amar Hossein Hattamani, I'm probably murdering that name and I apologize, was hanged, 18 years old, hanged after January protests, this year, January, that started over the rising cost of living. Another 19-year-old champion wrestler was executed at 19 just weeks earlier for participating in those same protests. Fast track trials, allegations of torture, death sentences for protesting bread prices. So here's what I'm wondering as an ordinary American. How does it make you feel when regime supporters get to live safely in America with all our privileges, fancy clothes, makeup, jewelry, and oil-funded comfort, while ordinary Iranians, including teenagers, get hanged for doing far less back home? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If someone truly believes America is that bad, why are they still here, enjoying everything we have to offer? Wouldn't it make more sense for them to go back to the country they seem to prefer? Again, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. That's one question that really bothers me. Here's another that hits a lot closer to home for American families. While foreign nationals are living large in the U.S. off of ill-gotten gains from regimes like Iran or Somalia, many of us here are just struggling to make ends meet and give our kids a decent shot, or get ahead ourselves. So my second question is, why are we still having this idea pushed on us and our kids that every young person needs an expensive 4-year college degree, which often really is a 5-year degree or longer, when businesses are begging for skilled workers and the trades offer real opportunity without massive debt? Mike Rowe has been talking about this for years, and he keeps showing examples like electricians making $260,000 a year with no student loans. His work ethic scholarship is still open through October 31st this year if you know a young person who wants to go that route. And my cousin, who has a GED, makes well over six figures as an electrician.
Hand, and his name is Mike Rowe of Mike Rowe Works Foundation. It's so good to see you. I guess one of the reasons that everybody's talking about this again is that it's what's being spoken at dinner tables all across America. When you look at this, George Mason University, sorry, I'm thinking George Washington University, the cost to attend in 26 is $98,165. The median household income, Mike, is $83,000. And that gave everyone a little sticker shock. What do you think?
Well, the math ain't mathin', right? I mean, this is so typical of virtually every cycle in every industry that I know of that just comes right up against the inescapable truth that your widget's just too damn expensive. Um, you don't need to be persuasive with the argument anymore. You just need to show that graphic.
From my own experience working with private foundations that funded education programs, I saw something interesting. Some of the biggest funders were large businesses like power companies and manufacturers that desperately needed skilled workers. They couldn't get what they needed from traditional four-year college grads, so they started partnering directly with local community colleges to train people in the exact skills their companies required. These businesses had a common complaint. Decades ago, really not that long ago, but decades ago, high school graduates came in with solid basic reading and math skills that made them immediately trainable. Now, too many high school grads fall short in those fundamentals, partly because they've been told the only good path is a college degree, and partly because our educational system is failing us and our children, and data shows that.
But look, I literally sat across from Larry Fink at BlackRock, weirdly enough, last month, in front of a room full of grown-ups, and he's literally saying, Dana, that we are looking at a $10 trillion new infrastructure in this country, and that build out is happening now. $10 trillion, and we don't have the workers to make the advancements that we need, and the basic construction challenges posed by connectivity and data centers and all things energy related. It's the linchpin. Like, these guys have got the memo in the C-suite. We need to reinvigorate the trades. It's only a matter of national security, and the whole college cost conundrum, the whole diploma dilemma. It's a big part of the conversation.
One of my early mentors taught me a college degree was valuable because it showed the person had learned personal responsibility, getting themselves to class, turning in assignments without someone hounding them, learning how to overcome adversity and obstacles, and building stronger reading, writing, and communication skills. And probably most importantly, they learned how to think, not what to think, how to problem solve. Over the years, I've watched that value slowly disappear. Used to be early in my hiring career, you could tell immediately if someone had a college degree, but that is no longer the case. Today's college graduates often haven't built that same level of responsibility. They struggle with clear English and speaking and writing, and many come in with expectations that are way higher than the contribution they're actually ready to make to an organization. Historically, for centuries, when there were only two classes, a university degree was only for the noble class, and mainly about enlightenment, personal growth, philosophy, moral character, and becoming a well-rounded person to be prepared to lead. It was not about a high-paying job because the noble class already had wealth. That changed in the 19th and 20th centuries when the middle class was born. Higher education shifted towards career preparation and economic mobility. Colleges fully leaned into the idea that any degree is worth it because data showed college grads earn significantly more over a lifetime than those without one. So, universities started adding lots of broad, less rigorous degrees just to get more students through the door, grow their own departments, and frankly, give jobs for all of their PhD graduates, while also growing revenue. They also lowered the rigor required to graduate in many programs, and you could tell it. A college degree no longer means a person is well spoken, read, or capable of thinking a problem through, i.e., a college degree no longer means someone is prepared to contribute to a business or an organization. The results? A college degree in almost any subject is no longer the golden ticket it once was. Many grads now face high unemployment, low starting pay, and real regret. Especially in the fields that don't teach specialized, in-demand skills. They have a harder time finding a job, and pay is much lower. Colleges and universities are businesses, plain and simple. Sure, they claim they're not, But they're absolutely revenue driven and profit minded, like any other industry. They've raised tuition dramatically, not because their cost required it, but because high demand and easy student loans allowed them to. They have basically priced themselves out of the market for a lot of regular families and folks like you and me. Meanwhile, the skilled trades offer a real debt-free alternative. Look at what that actually looks like. So here are my better questions on this topic. If your 18-year-old could finish training debt-free in 2 years and start earning solid money in a trade that businesses actually need, why is the college degree for everyone pushed on us? Who really benefits when we saddled all these young people with massive loans for degrees that no longer deliver the responsibility or skills or that employees once expected or the pay that they need to repay that cost? Please tell me what your thoughts are on this subject in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks. Have a good day and God bless.